Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, it's 3:37 p.m. on this TGIF Friday, the last Friday in September, September 29th. And here's the thing. The reason I'm able to do this is I've been home since about 12:49. Now, I know you might be wondering why I didn't do anything at that time. Well, mainly because I was making my bed. I was eating lunch. I ordered Taco Bell. I ordered Taco Bell via DoorDash. Like I said, as I was saying, I was making my bed. I even laid down in my bed a little bit before I did so to kind of relax a little bit, kind of stretch my arms and everything. Just kind of, settle in. Get my composure and stuff. Um, and the reason, if you're wondering why I'm home, I'm already home. When normally, when I get off work, which would be 2:30, I get a ride with my sister, who also works at Kohl's, at the Kohl's warehouse, in Patterson. I get a ride with her to the bus stop at the Veterans Memorial Park in Patterson, California, where there's a bus stop there. It's kind of a rest stop for them as well, because it's got a bathroom for them to utilize. And basically, I wait there for at least about a half hour. She'll drop me off if she doesn't have to go anywhere at first. If she has to go like get gas and then do a car wash and then use the gas station Chevron's car wash as well to wash the car, maybe to go to the grocery outlet or whatever. I usually wait for about, let's say, a half hour if she just does a straight through kind of shot to the bus stop, on the back end roads going towards her house and going towards the park and everything. So anyway, usually I'd be waiting at that bus stop, and right about now, the bus, even as we speak, would be arriving here in Newman. It'd be arriving here in Newman in about 7 minutes. It's about 3:39 p.m. right now. I would say in about 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, depending, it should be, heading up to the Inyo Avenue and Main Street bus stop, to drop people off or pick them up. So yeah, I would normally be on the bus right about now, heading for home, from work, from Patterson. But I've been home, like I said, since 12:49, and the reason I've been home since 12:49 is mainly due to the fact that my sister requested yesterday to get off early, and she suggested, because, like I said, she's my ride to the bus stop, I do the same thing. So that's what we did. We put our request in, they got approved, and we both got off at noon. Now, usually you might think, well, that's a warehouse you guys work in for Kohl's, for a major retailer. You shouldn't be able to do that, especially if you're working towards the holidays, working towards, getting things set up for that time frame. And you'd be right. You'd be absolutely right. That wouldn't be possible. But right now, what's going on, and I'm sure my job and my sister's job, or I should say, I'm sure me and my sister's job are not the only ones doing this. But there's probably a lot of retail warehouses, distributing centers, probably doing the same thing, and that is the fact that they're going through an influx. That's right, they're going through an influx where it's like, when I started, it was busy. You could tell every area I was cross-trained in was busy, had enough material to work with for 8.5 hours, or 8 hours, if you will. Get myself some Coca-Cola there. I had some Mountain Dew Baja Blast with my Taco Bell order earlier. But anyway, long story short, like I said, basically, all the areas would be busy. Stripping of the trucks would be busy. Amazon, which is, associated with stripping in the same area, if you will, would be busy. Shipping, receiving, transfreight, PTL, pack to light, if you will. All the areas would be busy. They would be occupied. Well, right now and again, I'm sure this goes for, like, let's say the Target distributing centers, the Walmart distributing centers, and all that. We're kind of in an influx right now to where basically, basically, uh, you could ask for time off and it will get approved. You know, whether you're using what's known as your UA, your unexcused absence, to do so. If you're doing that, or unpaid time off, if you're doing that, like we did unpaid time off, or you're using PTO, paid time off, or VTO, voluntary time off. Right now we're in a situation where it would get approved. It would get the green light, if you will. Now, excuse me. Now, I don't expect this to always happen, whatsoever, unless something comes up, and that's what happened today. You see, my sister had to get off early because she's got to watch her granddaughter, my great niece, because my niece, her daughter, the mother of my great niece, has to go to has to go support a friend during a wake, if you will, because the friend lost a family member who, ironically, was recently at the wedding of one of my other niece's friends just a couple weeks ago in San Diego. So, unexpectedly, when she got home, apparently she just, went to sleep one night and just didn't wake up. She passed. They don't know what happened. Maybe we'll find out more later. That's all, but I can't really say exactly what occurred and all that. But all we know is that it was something that was really surprising to my niece's friend and even to my niece. So today they have a wake going on in Patterson at one of the churches, or funeral. I think it's at the funeral parlor, the funeral services in Patterson, the funeral home, if you will, or it's at the church. It's one of the churches or somewhere. I'm not really sure, but they're doing a wake and everything. And my sister had to get off, like I said, early because she has to go. She wanted to go home and rest, maybe even get the house together a little bit, because her husband is supposed to help get the back room, which is pretty much serving like the office, but also serves as her granddaughter, my great niece's playroom, and a room where she sleeps in when she stays the night over there. So he's supposed to get that together. Hopefully he did. And my sister, like I said, she's just gonna go home, rest up, for her granddaughter and everything, and even probably get the house together, get it in order. So that's why she wanted to be off early and everything as well, so she can have that time. Because, you might think, you might think, well, what if, now, hold on. Okay, there we go. Now you might think and ask, well, what if this wake was later? What's the point of you guys leaving early? Again, to go back to what I just said, if you're wondering that, it's because it gives her time, my sister, to relax, get her bearings together, maybe shut her eyes for a little bit, and before my great niece, her granddaughter, arrives. As well as, like I said, get some of the house together if some of it's not together already, if you know what I mean. So that's why she wanted out early. So that's why she requested to get out early. She did. She told me to do the same thing since, like I said, she's my only ride to the bus stop. Because if not, what I normally do is I will walk out of the exit way. The exit gate when you get off work. I will walk through that. And I will walk down Baldwin Road, all the way up to Sperry. I think it's Sperry Road. And I think, yeah, it is Sperry. I will walk all the way up to Sperry and then walk all the way to the Walmart, to where the bus stop is across the street from the Walmart, just so I could catch it on time to go home. That's what I would have been doing had I stayed. But she she suggested me to do the same thing as her, so that we could both just get out. I can catch my bus. I can come home, relax myself, like I mentioned I did earlier, and just go from there. And also, it's at a time, like I said, to where things are kind of slow. It's in an influx. And I guarantee any of you that are working at warehouse distributing centers like a Kohl's, like a Target, or Walmart, or an Amazon, or a CVS, or Rite Aid, whatever, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're probably experiencing the same stuff. So, I was drinking some more Coca-Cola there. So you probably understand where I'm coming from. And all work is like that. All work is like that, especially when you're getting ready to build up towards that holiday season. Now, as far as work went this week, it was pretty good. It went by fast, I will say that. I started out the week basically on Monday and Tuesday doing some shipping. That's what I was doing. I was doing shipping. So that's what I was doing for those 2 days. And then on Wednesday, I was sent back to stripping. But because we didn't have that much going on in stripping, if you will, after we were done with the trucks that we had, they met with us. They met with all of us, Amazon included, and Amazon Group included, I should say. And they basically sent us into different areas, to work, to be trained, to be cross-trained. So for me and another girl, and a few other people, we got sent to what is known as non-con. Non-con is basically where you have what's known as a zebra gun, a zebra device. Basically like a phone, iPhone device, whatever. But it's called a gun because it's got one of those trigger things that it connects to, so that way you can hold it like a gun. Well, on Wednesday, they cross-trained me and a few other people to basically do non-con. Well, we would basically take a pallet's worth of items, and we'd get a list of like where they go, door-wise and store-wise, like what the store number, location they're going to, and what door that store, the truck to going to that store is heading. So I would look at it and I'd be like, okay, here's store 0. It's like, here's store 683, and it's at door 105 or something like that. And what I would do is I would go to door 105, look down, use the zebra gun, scan the barcode, the little sticker that's on the pallet, and then I would find the merchandise with the same number and everything, scan that twice, or scan two of the same items, once and twice, and basically place them on the pallet because they would have been added to the master, as they would call it. They're added to the lot to be distributed to the store. So that's what I was doing along with other people yesterday after we were done with stripping. Stripping of the trucks, that is. And then yesterday, we did stripping again. But what was funny about this is we would also... And we kind of did stripping for most of the day. But in between, when we would have our slow periods, we would basically help out with shipping. Me and others would be called upon to go help with shipping to shut down some red lights. Because the rule about shipping is you don't want to see a solid red light because that means you're completely full. It's jammed up. You need to clear it to turn that red light off. And you don't want to see a blinking light because the blinking light means there's a jam on the conveyor belt. And usually it's in the main conveyor belt where it basically distributes the package to certain doors. So basically you have this. So basically think of like a major highway, and you got a turnoff coming up, where a lot of cars are going, right? So it's like a major highway, and one of the boxes is a car coming down that turnoff, but it can't get any further on the turnoff because there could be a traffic jam, an accident, and it has to wait. It has to wait for someone to, tell it to go forward, or wait until traffic slowly starts to progress, from the jam. So that's kind of what it was like. That's kind of like what it is. And what we do is we use this little metal hook. We have 3 different sizes. One small size is like for the boxes and everything that are under the conveyor belt that you can actually almost reach with your hand and try to move them along. The other one is to where you can reach the higher point, the first higher point of the conveyor belt underneath it to try to get them loose. And then we have a longer one which reaches the highest point of the conveyor belt, where it's the packages are sliding down, but also reach where like I say, the little turn-off exit is for the package to go down. We have a pole that's long enough to do that as well, to try to get the items loose and moving. And that's how we prevent a blinking light. Once we do that, we're good to go. So they had me doing that yesterday, along with a few other people. And then today, I did some stripping. Not that much of a truck, basically the truck wasn't that bad. If you were mostly all pallets, some did have to be fixed, but mostly all pallets. But what happened is after we did the truck, a lot of us are wondering, okay, what's next and everything. And one of the seasonal managers grabs me and says, hey, can I borrow him for a second? And they're like, yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, where am I going? And he takes me to what's known as door 172. And he says, take your time. And I'm like, take my time? And basically what I was doing was I was loading up in a very decent wallway, because somebody already did it. Because one of the things about shipping is when you get the boxes, one of the things you got to do is build a wall, a decently sized wall, if you will, that will not tumble. So anyway, he calls me and says, take your time with this. This is a lot of Black Friday stuff. That's right. I was actually unloading Black Friday stuff. And one of the items I could tell you that we did have, I don't know if this is just a revise for 2023 or not, but it was one of those Hot Wheel play sets, racing tracks. It has a dragon on it. It says new for 2023, and its height, and they even describe this, the height of the thing when you build it is 3 feet tall, 90 centimeters. 90 cm, if you will. Yeah, that's what I was loading. And that's meant for Black Friday. And he told me to take my time, because basically after I got that and the other Black Friday items as well, that was it. There was nothing else for me or another girl that was over there as well doing the same thing. There was nothing else for us to do. So we got told to basically watch for more red lights and everything, help out what we can. And then after break, we come back and finally we have some trucks. And we have basically a new system going on. I guess it's new. According to my sister, they kind of don't know what they're doing over there. But basically what it is that now we're using, because on one side of the area where stripping is located at, on one side you have Amazon. So anything we take off the trucks, we line them up in these little, I guess you could say, parking areas. These little parking areas, or designated areas. We line them up row by row, so that Amazon, the people at Amazon during the day and night, can take them and work them and send them back to Amazon, because these are mostly returns. And stuff. So, so basically what happened is that we have a new conveyor belt and everything. Well, not a conveyor belt, but what it is that we have these regular conveyor belts, not, electronic or anything, but the regular ones that you can push and spread out and all that. And basically, from what I understand, what you have to do now, and I think they're doing it over there too, I'm not really sure, on he's on the other side. But what we have to do now as well on the stripping side is if you have an Amazon box, you have to open it up, and it's got to be a regular box, regular plain box that says Amazon return. You got to open it up, and you basically, I think you got to look through it and scan each item. I think you need to scan each item. I'm not really sure. Just drink some Coca-Cola there. I'm not really sure, but that's basically the gist of what I'm getting at, is that you have to scan each item in there to make sure everything is in that box. Like, I think you got to scan the box itself or put in the number or something, and then you got to make sure all the items that's in there that's being returned match that box. That's what I'm getting. That's the gist I'm getting from it. So because they were doing that, we got back to doing some stripping. We got some trucks in, so I was able to help out in that area. Almost had an incident a couple of times. Like, one of the last pallets we had were just, those boxes of Amazon return. And I'm thinking, okay, what do I do with this? Because I'm thinking, do they have to take it apart? What's going on? So I'm carrying it out by the pallet jack and everything. And as soon as I hit the ramp, it falls over. Now, I get out of the way. It doesn't hit me, but it falls over. And I basically take the blame because I realize, you know what, I should have shrink wrapped that. But, I didn't. I wasn't thinking, that through. I wasn't thinking that through. I was looking at it and thinking, okay, it's loose, but it's on a pallet. They might want to take it apart just to see what's in there, see it's in the boxes and all that. So, that was what's going through my mind. So I wasn't, thinking clearly on that. But I did take responsibility, and I said, hey, it's my fault. Should have shrink wrapped that. Wrapped that. So after that and everything, and we got one truck cleared. After lunch, we come back, and myself and some other people are told, go and help with red lights. Keep the blinking red lights down, and that's what we do. Myself and a few other people, a lady that's probably a few years older than me, older than my sister. We all basically help out in that area because, again, there's only so much 2, maybe 3 people can do when they're assigned to different sections of shipping with trucks. Like, there's only so much somebody could do when they're assigned door 90 to door 120. Or there's so much people could do if they're assigned door 131 to door 162 or 163. There's only so much they could do, right? So we were asked to go help out with that, and we did, just like we were asked yesterday. So that helped me kill some time. I even set the timer on my alarm so that I could get up to the time clock to clock out, because like I said earlier, my sister and I had requested yesterday to be off at 12 so she can go home, relax, shut her eyes, maybe get a little nap in or something, but basically have herself ready for her granddaughter, my great niece, because my niece, her daughter, has to go to this wake in support of her friend. So yeah, it was a crazy week, unusual week, if you will. The good news that I found out is that apparently, during what's known as the agenda notes meeting, we were told that there are certain things that everybody is going to be entitled to, and some that not everybody is. So, for example, for everybody involved, seasonal and full and part-time regulars, basically, if we're there, I think it's between the end of October and into mid-November or something, but during that time frame, if we're there every day and only late by an hour and nothing more, we will earn $2 more on our check for that day. So in other words, if you make $20 an hour at that job, depending on how long you've been there and what your position is, you'll be making 22. You make 16, you'll be making 18. But it all depends on you being there every day and only being an hour late and not a minute later. Because if you're late a minute by a minute, just for that day, you're not going to be eligible. So in other words, instead of being like, if you're doing, like I said, $20 an hour, every day you're there, then in these upcoming weeks, you'll be doing 22. So by doing 22, that's good money, right? That's an extra $2. But if you miss a day, like let's say you work Monday and Tuesday, you're there, not, even if you're an hour late, but, that's about it. Or even if you're 30 minutes late, you're still eligible and all that. That's, let's say Monday and Tuesday you get 22, but then you're late by a minute on Wednesday, it's going to be 20. You get the idea? So that was kind of good to hear. And there were some other things we didn't, that were mentioned in the agenda notes that, it didn't sit, well with any seasonal people, but, pray that myself and other seasonal people become permanent, because this is a good job for us to be at, and it's worth, waking up for, in my opinion. So pray that we do become regulars. We do become regulars when it's all said and done. The only thing I look at is I think what's going to happen, and this is just my opinion, I think some of those part-timers there are actually former seasonal employees. I do. I think some of them, if not majority of them, are former seasonal employees, which kind of tells me that might happen to myself and some other people that got hired recently as well to work at Kohl's. Will become part-time regulars. And what I kind of worry about a little bit is if that happens, I could see my schedule being like 6 to 2:30 Monday, Tuesday. For example, for 1 week, I could see my schedule being like Monday, Tuesday, 6 to 2:30, Wednesday, Thursday off, and then Friday, 6 to 2:30. I could see it being something like that. Maybe, kind of rearranging itself around to be a little different. But the reason I kind of worry about that, though, but I could see it happening if I become a part-time regular, if they retain me. Basically, what I see. Okay, let me kind of rewind. I almost lost my train of thought there. But like I was saying, I could see that happening. If they retain me as a regular at part-time basis. But what worries me is that my mom, she's my only transportation in the morning to get to work. Just like my sister, unless something comes up, is my only transportation to the bus stop, to go home, after work. So what worries me a little bit, if this was to come to pass, is that my mom, she says her body clock's still getting adjusted, still trying to accumulate and adjust itself to the change and everything. I could see my mom being a little like, kind of in like in an readjustment situation, to where it's like 2 days she'd have to get up at 4:10, 4:15 like I would, so we could both get out on time, get me to work, and then she waits a little bit, then she goes to work, because she likes to wait until it gets a little brighter. I could see her basically, having a kind of like an influx situation, to where it's like, okay, Monday and Tuesday I wake up at 4:15, get myself ready to take me and my son to our to work and everything, to his job and then my job. But then I could see if I'm off like on a Wednesday and Thursday, she'd be like, okay, I don't have to get up at 4, I'll set this for 5, and then after that I'd be like, okay, back to 4. I could see her not being a fan of that, but I could see her adjusting to it. It would just take a lot longer. It would just take a lot longer than what's going on right now. Because, I'll be honest with you, even though my mom's happy I'm working and she's willing to go out of the way to help me out to get to work, I think honestly she is not particularly fond of waking up at that time. She's not. That's the truth. Nobody is. Nobody that works for a distributing center of any kind likes waking up at those hours. Like 4 o'clock, 4:30, just to get down there, just to get themselves ready and down to the warehouse to work. Nobody does, but it has to be done. It has to be done. So my mom, I know, is not thrilled about it because it's not her job, it's mine. I mean, she had her way, and this is true with anybody else. If she or anybody else had their way, if you're someone that takes the bus, they would make sure the bus would be 24/7. So that way the bus would show up and you could take the bus, go to work, and not have to worry. Or they wouldn't have to worry, if you will. But again, it's just one of those situations to where, if I become a part-time regular, which again I believe is a possibility, because like I said, I see some of those part-time regulars. Well, I don't know who they are exactly, but I kind of have a clue. I see some of them, and I'm like, yeah, they used to be seasonal prior to this. So I could see if myself and anybody else gets retained, that's where we'll be heading, part-time. So pray I do get retained, and pray that it's not part-time, it's full-time, because I don't need my mom being like, okay, we gotta get up I gotta get up before 15 on these 2 days, and then be like, oh, good, I can see. I don't want it to be a little like, confused and all that, but pray I do become permanent at my job. Do pray about that. But yeah, basically, they let us know about that. They let us know that if you have long hair and you're around conveyor belts and stuff, you need to, put it in a bun or in a ponytail. But if you're not around machinery of any kind, you're pretty much good. You're pretty much golden. So overall, though, this week was pretty good. It was all right. And look forward to next week and see what happens. Now, as far as the channel goes, and everything, I know some people might be curious as to why I haven't been uploading, consistently like I used to. And, it's real simple. It's real simple why I haven't been doing that. Again, it goes back to my job. I mean, there have been times throughout my 1 month, and I've been there for over a month, thank the Lord. But there have been times that I will basically take the 2 throw blankets that my mom and my sister got for me. One of them my sister made for me. It's a 49ers Warriors throw blanket, with 49ers on one side, Warriors on the other, and the other is just a regular throw blanket my mom made, or my mom bought, I should say. And she and basically what I would do. And something's going on. I don't know what's going on, but it's a lot of sirens. But basically, long story short, what I would do in this past month on occasions, because I'd be so tired, even after my mom makes dinner, or even before she makes dinner, what I would do is I will just put those 2 throw blankets down, grab 2 pillows, which is the 2 travel pillows that are behind my my 2 pillows that are encased in my 2 2 My Little Pony pillowcases. What I'll do is I'll take those 2 travel pillows that are behind my 2 pillows that are encased in the 2 My Little Pony pillowcases I have. I will take those 2 travel pillows, or at least one of them, put them on top of the blankets, and I will lay down on the floor and go right to sleep. At times I'll set my timer on my phone for about 35 minutes, so I can, at least, have, at least I'll have something to wake me up, to get me up, to eat dinner, or try to, get myself together, get my bed ready to go, up and ready for me to lay on. But yeah, I'll be so tired at times that I just do not feel like doing anything, guys. Today I'm very fortunate to be able to do stuff, even though I am still tired, because I got off, like I said, at 12 o'clock and got home about 12:49. So yeah, as far as, like I say, the reason I haven't been as consistent as I used to be is because of that. That's the reason. But I will try to be more consistent even in October, but I can't make any promises because of the fact, that work does take a lot out of you, especially warehouse work. I'll put it that way. But I am going to give you more content, as much as I can, throughout its run. And, that's all I'm going to say is just expect things to be heading your way very soon, more so than they have previously. Hopefully. But do expect more to come out. But yeah, that's why, if you've been wondering, okay, why hasn't he been consistent on his uploading of videos? That's why. My work's been taking a lot out of me. And the most I'll ever do sometimes is that if I do have the energy to do it, is I'll record like I'm recording now, and I'll create a video with that recording, or I'll go on camera and do a recording, and then I'll put that video on my computer. Basically, I'll use the SD card, put the SD card in the computer, and then put that video on my computer, and then upload it to YouTube. But that's the furthest I'll go in any capacity, with putting content up, because then I'll just lay down and wait for a little while, rest myself up, and then if I'm up to it later on after a nap or so, I'll basically put in the details and set the premiere for the video. That's what I will do. But yeah, that's one of the reasons, though, again, going back to what I said, that's one of the reasons why I haven't been consistent like I used to be, because I'm tired. Basically, it takes a lot out of you when you're working. But again, I'm going to try better in October to give you more content as time goes on. Anyway, though, I will say this: if there's any Halloween stuff coming around, like let's say at the end of the month with trick or treating and all that, I will try to get you something out by then. But really, like I said, it's one of those situations to where work takes a lot out of you, and you just got to go with the flow. And if you're up to doing it, you're up. If you're not, then just gotta be patient with yourself, and those that follow you have to be patient with you as well. But I will, like I said, I will get stuff up and going, hopefully very soon, in October. Even if I'm tired or not, I will try to get something out to you guys, on a consistent basis. But really, that's all I can say for the channel update going into next month, and everything. Just, to expect maybe more of the same of this month, but hopefully not as much. And also, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what's been going on at work this past week, and how things are running and going, and why I'm home early doing this. So, until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. You will get this on my BW Roses Discussions podcast, which you can find on all your favorite audio podcast locations, except for Pandora, but more specifically, you can find it at Spotify. That helps me out a lot if you help support me there. Also, guys, check out the Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. It would be greatly appreciated if you guys can go there and show your support by purchasing some merchandise there. I think you will enjoy. But until next time, guys, that's all I'm going to say. And yeah, have a good day, and I will talk to you all later.